Hey guys, welcome back to another Jurassic World Mattel toy review. We're back at it again with Jurassic World Dominion and Extreme Damage. And this is a figure that I've been actually anticipating on getting, just like most figures that I'm anticipating on getting. And it's a Atrociraptor Tiger. Just right off the bat, just taking a look at this last Atrociraptor to collect in my collection of Jurassic World figures, considering that, well, you know, we have gotten all the characters, Panthera, Ghost, and Red already in different like styles you can try to get, like in the Owen Grady Escape set, or just a single carded, or in a set with Soyana Santos, but whatever. We finally got ourselves Tiger, and while the paint job is already off the bat not accurate to Tiger in terms of the color schemes, regardless, it just looks really freaking nice, so I don't really care about the accuracies unless they make another version, but whatever. So again, let's just hurry up and get it right out the bat and get this started. So package is the usual standard for the Jurassic World Extreme Damage toy line, or Dominion style toy line now. You got Rexy on the background with the prologue. Backdrop now orange instead of blue, and Extreme Damage. Atrociraptor, well, it just says Atrociraptor, but we know it's Tiger. Jurassic World Dominion, Mattel logo. Side to side is the Jurassic World Dominion logo. This time without the Power Raptor. And at the back, we get a prototype image of the Raptor in action with the battle damage, and then the backside compatibility stuff, and the other dinos you can get in the collection, like the Pyro Raptor, and the other dino that for some dumb reason forgot his name already and don't know how to pronounce it, whatever. So anyway, so go ahead and take Tiger out of the package. So here is a Atrociraptor Tiger right out of the package, and of course, like I said, starting the review off, really looks good. Really definitely like this creature as much as the rest. A lot more cooler in hand, obviously. The tail and legs and arms are definitely different from the previous releases, considering that this is its own separate sculpt, and it has a retooled torso area to where the action feature, where you press down on this button right here, it will activate the action feature. We're going to get that right out the bat. So we already know that happens right there. But we're not going to be talking about the action feature. That's why we showed it very quickly. But you can see that the only details that matter is how different the figure is compared to the other Atrociraptors that we got in the past. Oops, dropped it. But as you can see, the detailing of the head is obviously the same sculpt as we got previously on the other Atrociraptors. I think maybe in terms of like the neck position, maybe it's different. Maybe it might be one of these different Atrociraptors retooled. I don't know. Just have to look. It probably is a different sculpt because they definitely have a different neck portion on here, or maybe it's different, but other than that, I think it's definitely like much more of a movie accurate choice, like in terms of the way the arms are, which are a new sculpt, by the way. Like the way these dinosaurs looked in the film, I think they definitely got this one looking as like close to the film in terms of the sculpt, or at least in terms of the body proportions. They definitely look like it's much more accurate. Just for the arms alone and the way it looks, this is definitely how it's supposed to look for an Atrociraptor sculpt. But the other Atrociraptors look pretty good. But this is definitely like, people are saying that this is definitely like the better sculpt because it has the accurate arm positions and stuff. The head is the same detail as the previous. It's just a little bit different. I think its neck position is different. But other than that, really it is the same regardless. The body is obviously the same and also different. The tail is a major component of being different. It's not nearly as long, I guess. It looks like it's not nearly as long and not nearly as wavy. It's very straightforward. And the rest of the body is also, it might be different or similar. In the legs, they got this airbrush white underneath, which looks really cool, but at the same time, like, not sure if Tiger really supposed to have this, but definitely stands out against the other Raptors as far as I'm concerned. So it looks really nice, and yeah, just really nice overall. Looking at every other corner, you can see that the detailing does pop up. And the paint job, like I said before, not nearly accurate to the film, but it looks really nice regardless. The stripes are applied very nicely on there, no screw-ups whatsoever. And also, the scan code is also there too. The other side, you got the Jurassic World logo, of course. So really, the sculpting is it's definitely much more like movie choice sculpt for the Atrociraptor, or at least at this. If they could have like retooled this particular sculpt and used it for the other Atrociraptors, like use this one for Ghost especially. But other than that, I think this looks really, really good. Like, Tiger definitely deserved this sculpt. It's a really nice sculpt. And not to mention, Tiger is really a nice Atrociraptor, despite it being the more insane one chasing after Claire. But it really is a nice figure and the sculpt. It's just, that's all there really is to go to it. It's just the sculpt and the paint job rather than the detailing, because with every Mattel figure that I go over, it's always packing that detail as great as possible, and there's really no flaws with said detail because they really get it as accurate or as good as possible. So if I had to get out at least one of these different Atrociraptors to compare it to, like to see the differences, I will go ahead and get, we're picking and choosing, Velociraptor Red. And like I said, the tail is definitely longer. It looks, actually, just looking at it, no, they're both the same way, actually. Like, just looking at it from this, you might not be able to see it from here, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's in the exact same position, like in the exact same length. But the Atrociraptor, the previous Atrociraptor sculpt, Red, over here, which is also used as Atrociraptor Ghost, the sculpting on the tail looks like it's longer, but it's obviously not really long, like as long as Atrociraptor Tiger's tail. Definitely like a little bit long. Definitely Atrociraptor Tiger's tail is a little bit longer, which I did not expect. Like, I thought it was obviously shorter. It looked shorter, but it's definitely longer. So that's the only comparison. Also the arms, see how the arms are different too. Now everybody already seen that. The Atrociraptor Tiger's arms are much more accurate in terms of the posing of the arms of the Atrociraptors in general. And the legs, so like the positioning is different in the legs. At least one of the legs are similar, but the other leg is obviously different in terms of the posing. At least that's what I'm seeing. Maybe it is that torso that is different. But other than that, yeah, they're definitely different sculpts. So if I can also get Ghosts over here, and I'm going to get out Panthera over here, which is obviously the only one that stands out more than Tiger, considering that she's a crouching raptor, or she, whatever, it doesn't matter. So yeah, this is all the Atrociraptors, and I might have to get them all bundled up into a group with Soyana Santos here. Can't even get them all in frame because I'm kind of crowded here. I might have to fix that. And here it is, the group picture. That's how it is. It's the anti-Raptor squad, as you want to call it. Atrociraptors with Soyana Santos, they all look pretty darn good together. It's just, yeah, it would be really cool to see a spin-off or something like that, to have these Atrociraptors literally be in like their own smuggling adventure with Soyana Santos or something. It'd be like a really interesting show to look at, but who knows. Anyways, that is it for this particular portion of this review, because yeah, you did not expect this video to be any longer. Might as well go ahead and throw in a little curveball surprise, because I did mention in my community status that I also had something else that I collected. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it right there that yes, this is a Atrociraptor Tiger right here, that you can go ahead and just try to track this one down at Walmart, because it is trickling in stores. I definitely recommend this. So yeah, really enjoyed this figure. That's all I gotta say about Atrociraptor Tiger. So let's go ahead and throw in the little curveball that I meant to actually, you know, go over a little while ago, which I decided now would be the perfect time to review Jurassic Park 3 figures again. I am finally reviewing Jurassic Park 3 figures again, and this time I also have to go and take a look at the controversial Kirby characters, Paul, Amanda, and Eric. Now, of course, we all know Eric is not even the most controversial character. He's literally the best Kirby. Paul is okay. Amanda's the worst, we all know. But I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these figures and also shove my opinions away from this video as best as possible. God dang it. Anyway, so me still being a JP3 fanboy, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. And this is what I've gotten so far. I unfortunately did not get the Stegosaurus that came with Paul. I just found this one loose. And yeah, this Kirby family is quite the expensive one, but not nearly as expensive as I was originally worried that it was going to be. But yeah, I still am glad that I've actually now obtained the Kirby family. Only comes with just these two particular dinos, the juvenile Spino and the Pteranodon hatchling. Of course, well, hatchling, not what I want to call it a hatchling, but I'm just calling it a juvenile. We're going to have to go ahead and move these dinos out of the way and take a look at the figures themselves. So we're going to go look at Paul first, because again, he's the okay one. And not to mention, his figure is actually pretty nice. It's got a really great likeness to William H. Macy from the movie, though Exposure, stop messing around. You can see that his eyebrows, he's still got his eyebrows, but it's like the paint's kind of wearing it off. Please stop, Exposure. Thank you. You can see it right there. His hair is also nicely detailed as well, though not nearly as film accurate as it should be, considering that he kind of looks like
I don't know, he looked like someone else. Like, I'm thinking of a particular actor that was in CSI Miami, and also in a few Sylvester Stallone flicks. But again, he's got a great likeness to William H. Macy, because Hasbro really did have some pretty good likenesses back then with action figures. And these action figures in general, I always really like these particular figures. They're in these dynamic poses that is a little divisive in terms of like how people like collecting their action figures. Instead of being in a neutral pose, they're stuck in these different dynamic poses. But I thought sometimes it could be really fine, but it can also be like controversial, whatever, doesn't matter. But again, you can see the detailing in the outfit he's wearing. Definitely not film accurate, but it's definitely nice that he's wearing an outfit that looks like he's quite the adventure kind of type guy. He's got a pair of binoculars with him. Definitely got all the detailing packed up in here. It really does look nice. And his pants got the wrinkles and stuff, and the dino damage that it included as well. He's got a torn leg over here where his leg is, which also comes wrapped in bandages. As you can see, Unfocus is not giving me a good date. And the bandages are nicely detailed as well, as you can clearly look at it from here. And yeah, that's a lot of detailing again for a figure in 2001. And his shoes are nicely detailed as well. They look a little bit short, but that's probably his posing that makes it look like that. But you can definitely see how really nicely detailed those shoes are. And they also got peg holes in the bottom and the back of it as well. You can see that, again, they got that really good detailing. And there's something really special about these figures, just old 2000s figures or 90s figures. It's always just so nice because it's just nostalgic. That's all I gotta say. They're just really nice figures overall. And yeah, like it can't quite get a little weird, like with the posing of like these dynamic poses, but they were meant to carry weapons. Now I already forgot the weapon Paul Kirby carried because I haven't dwelled too much into this line, but whatever, doesn't really matter. Paul Kirby really doesn't need a weapon unless it's like a flare gun or something. But autofocus acting crazy when I get to the next figure to talk about. But that's Paul Kirby. He's definitely a nice figure, but I don't know if I could say the same about Eric Kirby. Now, I like Eric Kirby a lot, but his figure is quite the disappointment. Now, it's not the worst thing ever. Now, I usually praise most of these figures, but Eric Kirby, his likeness is okay. Should match Trevor Morgan in the film, how he was as Eric Kirby. Should be able to match him well. And his hair is also nicely detailed as well. But can't really say the same about the rest of the figure sculpt. I mean, the figure sculpt is nice detailed, and it's also got this cute little accessory right here with a Game Boy and stuff. He's got his backpack and everything. Everything is sculpted in nicely, and he's only got 4 points of articulation, which is the only figure in Jurassic Park 3 to have a swiveled waist, swivel head, and swivel arms. The only reason why I can say this is disappointing because it might as well be considered the real accessory of the set that he comes with, which it's Eric Kirby with the Pteranodon, and the Pteranodon is obviously bigger than Eric Kirby right here. So he feels more like the accessory rather than the actual main dish or the main character of the package when it comes to these human sets. And his legs, which is the actual worst part of the figure, is that they're not articulated. Like, how can you have an Eric Kirby figure without the articulation in his legs, but the articulation in the waist? Weird. That's one of the reasons why I find it disappointing. The sculpt is not the worst thing, it's just that the legs, my goodness, the legs, they're not posable. But they're nicely detailed with the pants and everything, and the shoes are nicely detailed. But it's the legs. This figure is really nothing special. Yeah, the figure definitely has that charm. It's definitely a nice little figure, but it's also not really the best. It's just a disappointing figure to a degree. It's weird for me saying that it's nice because it's got the detailing and everything, but it's just disappointing. And his flashlight is on his hand. It's also sculpted on there too, so I don't know why it's sculpted on there. It should have just been an accessory where he takes it on, puts it back on, who knows. Or it should have just been a peg hole on the belt, like a peg on the belt, and there's a hole on the flashlight. You put it on there. I don't know. Could have been nicer than just making this very disappointing sculpt, and it's only made to have the Pteranodon hold Eric Kirby, which it does hold Eric Kirby up, and it's pretty nice. And speaking of the Pteranodon, let's go ahead and take a look at the Pteranodon, which is a very nicely detailed, very awesome sculpt. I did have this previously, and the first time I actually did have it was in Jurassic Park Dinosaur Series 3, which was a different colored Pteranodon hatchling, where it was just very like bright tone brown and such. But looking at this figure is definitely very nice and detailed. Really got a nicely painted eye right here. Although the other side, it's a little bit of a weird, wacky position. I mean, it's also nicely painted on there too. You might not be able to see it because of the lighting. You can probably see it now. But if you look at it narrowly in front of the face, it always will look cross-eyed, but you probably might not be able to see it if you get like the actual perspective of how I'm looking at it. But yeah, the eyes are a little derpy in the front, but you might not be able to see it. Mouth's not painting in because it's obviously a very like basic figure. But again, it's nicely painted too. The detailing of it all, it definitely looks like the Alpha Pteranodon, like the bigger Pteranodon. Oh, I dropped Paul Kirby, but we're not going to mind about that. Does have that same lightness as a Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodon definitely does have, and it really looks nice. Paint job, like I said before, matches the Alpha Pteranodon, but this is much more of a smaller version of that. And I still do have the other Pteranodon that I did take a look at in one of my more unedited reviews at the time. But yeah, and also you got the GP3 logo down there, which is also a nice added little addition, like with every Jurassic figure, the vintage days or so. And again, he's got a very nice sculpted body, and the wrinkles and texture details and the paint job. Just overall a very nice looking sculpt. You know, I'm just gonna wing with it. This figure's dropping down, makes it seem like it's unprofessional, but I don't even care. I'm not even professional anyway. But again, you see the different wrinkled details, and just it looks really, really nice. How this is nicely applied on here alongside the paint job, like, yeah, pretty nice overall. That's all I gotta say. And also, not to mention, this is also nice that I'm actually owning an official version. So I also want to remind myself, the movie, my old movie Jurassic Park, Return to Jurassic Park, my old version, I had repainted one of the Jurassic Park Dinosaur Series 3 Pteranodon hatchlings like this. I repainted one of them to look like this, and it was obviously horrible, but that was just me trying desperately to add at least something from Jurassic Park 3 into my film. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and set these down. So we got all those out of the way. Now let's go take a look at the Amanda Kirby figure. Now Amanda Kirby, while the character in the film, like we all know, whether you like her or hated her, most of the time most people really just don't like her character. But I find most people agreeing that her action figure is definitely better than the character that she is. Because, again, she, well, for one, doesn't look like Téa Leoni. I mean, I can't find the likeness to Téa Leoni on this figure if I can. But I just can't see the likeness of Téa Leoni on this action figure. But regardless, she looks nice. Overall, like the way they sculpted her, she looks nice. But I just can't see the resemblance of Téa Leoni unless I'm not seeing it. But again, she doesn't have that same likeness. It's just weird. Maybe there is Téa Leoni's likeness on there, I'm just not seeing it, or just they didn't get it right, or I don't know, they probably just don't like Téa Leoni, which is kind of a shame. But her action figure is definitely nice. She has this nice outfit, which looks like an alternate outfit for Ellie Sattler or something. And most people kind of pose this as an Ellie Sattler double for a 3/4 inch figure because they don't want to associate it with Amanda Kirby, weirdly enough. But it is a nice figure. Just the sculpting, the overall outfit wear for Amanda is really nice. And I'm over joking about this arm right here. She's got this arm right here that is tighten up fist, which is obviously she carries a weapon, of course. But I'm just imagining a scenario where she uppercuts Alan Grant for punching Paul. Like I can literally imagine that, like if that actually ends up being the case. But again, she's got this really cool persona. Like she's got this very cool Dino Tracker or Dino Survivor persona going on with this figure. It's just, yeah, Amanda Kirby got a nice figure. Just so weird that a character like Amanda Kirby can get an action figure this great. There's like detailing in her boots and everything. But there you go. You see, it's like there's one tied up and the other one that isn't really tied up. It's loosened down. Autofocus, please stop. Thank you. But again, you can see that the detailing is also nice. Might not also pick it up on camera, but the pants is also detailed and another like additional paint details added into the pants. Yeah, you might not be able to say it, might not be able to capture. It's not that big of a deal anyway. But like I said, the detailing of the Amanda figure is brilliant for a figure or for a character in general that was widely disliked by fans or many people who are Jurassic fans, whatever. We'll take a look at the last thing to go over is the juvenile Spinosaurus Amanda Kirby comes with, which is a pretty nice Spinosaurus juvenile. It's just the paint job, obviously, sort of film accurate. It's definitely got the browns, which is well, the bronze is not technically film accurate, but it's like, it's definitely the nicest like brown they chose for the Spino. And the dark red they also chose for it kind of looks accurate. And the very like light purple like striping they gone over in there to match like the patterns of the Spino, which is the same as the React Attack Spinosaurus that I own. Basically, that's what it is, and it looks really nice. It's also got a nicely painted eye right there, same lime green color the Spinosaurus always had. You know, I'm just gonna leave it there. Not gonna pick Amanda back up. I also got the JP3 logo over here on the other side, which is also pretty nice to add. Again, it's also got painted fingernails as well, and the toenails as well. Everything's painted in, it's not unpainted. But again, you got that really nice looking detail, and it's also film accurate to the Spino we see in the movie. It's like really nice to own this. And also, not to mention, it's just epic juvenile Spino scope. Also got paint on the underside as well. So that's also kind of nice that that's also applied on there. Also, I'm going to bring out the Aqua Spinosaurus that came with the military diver, which is equally as cool looking. Like, that looks so good. So they both look really good together, but I will say the most accurate looking Spino has to be the Aqua Spino, except if we took out the Aqua patterns, it would look like the Spino from the film in terms of the gray color, because it was definitely a grayish Spinosaurus color. It's like a mixture between like grays, reds, and some browns, but it's mostly like this, except without the blue patterns. This one's mostly like the promotional like style they were going with, like with the other toys. It's always like mostly brown. But again, they both look really, really good together. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Alrighty, so that is going to be it for this review of the Jurassic Park 3 Kirby family. Amanda, Paul, and Eric with the little baby Spinosaurus and the juvenile Pteranodon. Not complete, but I already got that done. And I also finally got to reviewing the Atrociraptor tiger figure. Basically, just everything's a recommendation. Of course, I'm going to freaking keep collecting more figures, but I'm obviously going to take it slow, just like usual. And also, I'm going to just straight up say that I'm sorry about this review being a little messy and scruffled up a little bit if it feels like it. And sorry about the autofocus going crazy throughout most of the dang time, but most of it probably might be edited out by now. But did my best. Wanted to just get the review out the way, and also really had a lot of fun just, you know, taking a look at all these, despite the problems I had to go through in terms of like setting up everything. But it was just simple and easy. All I gotta say is that, yeah, definitely recommend picking up a Atrociraptor tiger if you can try to track this dino down in Walmart. And the Kirby family, like, of course, the figures are really nice, except for Eric. Eric is a little disappointing, but yeah, regardless of what you think about the Kirby family and Jurassic Park 3 in general, they're definitely nice figures to pick up. And again, Amanda's just badass in terms of a figure. Like, legit, how is she this badass compared to her movie counterpart? Anyway, so that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed this long review of all this stuff, and I will be seeing you guys later.